Hi everyone, my name is Khalida Mohammed, though most people call me by my middle name, Mariam. I am a senior at U of H, and I'm studying to receive my EC through 6 Generalist certification. I will be graduating this December, and after that, I hope to be a third grade teacher. I think one of the most important parts of being a teacher is reaching out to all your students and finding what best helps them grow. Though most people assume I speak multiple languages due to the fact that I am a Muslim American, I don't. I was born in America as well as my entire family going back generations. Because of this, all the media I consumed and the education I received and all the conversations I have had have been in English. Though my father had the desire to learn Arabic when I was really little, he considered teaching such young children a foreign language to be way too hard for him to handle, especially because he was just learning the language himself. My father went on to be decently fluent in Arabic, but no one else in my family ever learned it. It always seems so difficult and time-consuming, and though we say we're going to make time, the reality is that learning a new language is a huge undertaking. I have been so privileged to never have to learn a new language. As a native English speaker growing up in America, it's never been a requirement for me, unless you count middle school Spanish classes. Where I grew up, everyone was required to either take 2 years of Spanish or 2 years of French. I chose Spanish because I knew a lot of Spanish speakers, and when I first started out, I was really excited to learn this new language to communicate with my peers. But it turns out those classes were not taken seriously by the teachers or the students. They were seen as easy A's, and no one really learned anything. Every week we would be given vocabulary words on Monday and have a quiz over them on Friday. That's it. The rest of the week was spent watching videos. Oftentimes they were videos of Guy Fieri traveling around Central and South America eating different foods. These videos weren't even in Spanish, so I have no clue why they spent so much class time watching them. We never learned about conjugations, Spanish grammar, or anything actually useful. We just took our weekly vocab quizzes and proceeded to immediately forget the words we just wrote down because we figured we'd never need them in class again. This kind of uninspired teaching was in no way conducive to actual learning. Teachers have to care about what they're teaching, or at very least, who they're teaching. And I hope to be an inspiring teacher to my students. I want to motivate them to do well instead of encouraging them to barely try. I will make sure that all of my students, whether they are native English speakers or ELLs, feel properly motivated and excited to learn. One way I plan on achieving this goal of mine is by getting to know my students as individuals. I want to find out how each of them best learns and give them the resources they need to be successful. Oftentimes, ELLs are lumped into one group and not seen as individuals. Their struggles and challenges are not met specifically, and they often have to learn in a way that's stressful for them instead of being given resources to help them grow the way they need to. This method is often unsuccessful, which leads to blame being placed on the students or their families. However, educators make no effort to understand their students. They don't understand the languages they speak or where they come from. Oftentimes, the opposite happens and teachers try to erase pieces of students' culture. Whether this is happening intentionally or not, when pressure is placed on students to learn English at the expense of knowing their native language, students can forget, causing them to lose that part of themselves and possibly lose the ability to communicate with members of their own family. I hope to respect the culture of each of my students while also giving them the tools and resources that they need to best suit their learning experience. Everyone learns best when they feel motivated and encouraged. I will work extremely hard to make sure that every student in my class feels welcome and secure. I won't blame them for their struggles, but work to help them overcome any challenges they face. I know that without help and motivation, learning another language can be very difficult. ELL students often feel stress and pressure to conform because they are not being properly taught in a way that brings out their strengths and celebrates their differences. Being taught in a harsh way, the harsh way that so many ELLs are being taught by, can cause students to hate school and learning and the English language. I want all of my students to feel comfortable and happy in my classroom, and I will work to achieve this by getting to know the students as individuals and by doing what's best for them.